gonna go live?
You.
The reason why today is so glorious is because now it is finally official. Dan Snyder is no longer the owner of the Washington Commanders. Right there, Dan Snyder. Bye-bye. You won't be missed. Goodbye.
What?
Bye. Goodbye forever. Goodbye. Goodbye forever. And some good news, even though it's not what we want. Some good news. That a-hole just got fined $60 million. So I know
that's a drop in the bucket, dude. He only got $6 billion. He's a billionaire, and that is 1% of his sale.
More hilarious though is if Josh Harris comes in and is somehow worse than Dan Snyder.
I mean, with how the Sixers and the Devils are run, I mean,
and they just go from one awful owner to the next, and it's a 40-year perpetual period. Then I would just be like, it's DC, y'all are cursed. Get a look at what you're rocking here.
That's fair. Oh yeah, we got the whole Ken outfit, baby.
Right. Can we ISO him? Somebody ISO Tom.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
That's right. That's
you
right.
are supposed.
Are you naturally that white,
That's right.
or?
Oh yeah,
is this
bro,
a
I'm
tan?
white as hell. Like this is my tan that I got from 30 and 30. This is like the no. I told you, I don't know what Perna is.
brother, you look like a 90s styrofoam cup. I'm proud of you. I gotta go with taking the Washington Redskins cheerleaders down to Costa Rica and then whoring them out to such top donors and boosters of the club.
Yeah, I would say that was probably like the thing
And
that
we
should
knew
have
about
definitely
this
got him
for
removed.
years.
Sewage that was coming down in the
Ooh, the
stadium
poo water.
Yeah.
at some point in time.
Yep.
Like
That
that's
was,
got to be up there.
2 years
too.
ago.
I thought that the email scam was scam, or the leaking of, all he did was he had a personal vendetta. He got John Gruden fired basically by outing him, like over some petty vendetta. And then what else did he do? He sued a newspaper for criticizing him.
Yep.
He sued
He sued old ladies that couldn't pay their season tickets.
Yes. So he sued his own fans, which that actually happens. Like when fans pull out of these, they sign a 5-year contract and they pull out 3 years into it. Like actually, the business owner is technically right in that situation. It just optically looks bad.
Josh Harris, their group owns the Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Devils. From what I've seen from them, they're pretty hands-off. They're not as meddlesome in terms of their operations. They're just average owners. They do get criticism from the 76ers owners, especially with how they treated, the process, like going through a bunch of different GMs and visions, and they've gotten some blame for that. And then New Jersey went through rebuild after rebuild after rebuild, and it was like there's some trouble potentially finding the right guys. But I think this next year is just going to be an observation period. And this might mean the end of Riverboat Ron if things go south. This might be the end of Doug Williams. This might be the end of a few other guys too. But for the most part, I feel like they're just average to around that area. So, I mean, even that is a massive upgrade over what Dan Snyder was.
What do you think they finish next year in the NFC East?
They're going 8-9.
8 wins?
8-9.
Yeah, I can see that.
I
8-9,
feel like
7-10.
I feel like they have such a tank pass. Like they have such a like with Sam Howell as their starting quarterback. Like they can just go like 4 wins.
Who's the USC quarterback right now?
Caleb Williams.
Caleb
I
Williams.
think they might tank for Caleb Williams. If Sam
I don't think you're
Howell
going to
is
have
not
enough
the
to
guy.
do. I don't think they're going to lose enough.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at Arizona unless I trade up. But you have to remember, Sam Howell was looked at like as a top pick in the early start of 2021. So there is pedigree there.
I think I think 7 wins is like around like where they'll be because they have enough talent. Like they'll have a decent run game. Like Scary Terry's still there, and he'll do well regardless of who their QB is. And they're also in a horrible conference. Their division is stronger, but they're in a conference like a really weak NFC. And you mentioned teams like the Cardinals, like what the hell they're going to do. I think there's going to be a handful of teams that are going to be worse than the Commanders. So yeah, it's going to be a race for Caleb Williams.
What can you do? And he said, well, my leverage essentially is F you. I could say F you to the Giants. I could say F you to my teammates. I could just do that and not play. 5, what is your response to that and the likelihood you think of that happening?
Man, that is so loaded. I mean, when you look at his value to the offense, sure, he was the straw that stirred the drink last year. Daniel Jones doesn't get his contract without Saquon Barkley, but there's a lot of risk for Saquon. You know, you look at what happened historically with Le'Veon Bell sitting a year and getting the same deal. He cost himself a year's salary and ended up with the same deal.
And I mean, at the same time,
just like signed whatever.
Lost guaranteed money,
right?
Because he tweeted recently, we weren't trying to break the bank, because someone had tweeted, oh, he's just money hungry. He's trying to reset the market. And he actually said, we were not trying to reset the market. We were just trying to get paid something fair.
And we have legitimate evidence that there are running backs right now either who do not have deals or who are playing on the franchise tag or not being compensated really well and are winning their teams football games. Like, they are literally winning the game. Derrick Henry like wins his team football games. Saquon Barkley won his team football games. Nick Chubb wins his team football games. You know, like, there are guys out there that do that. And I would argue like Eckler for a long time like was one of their biggest threats. I know Mike Williams is really good, Keenan Allen's really good, but teams kind of like want their cake and like want to eat it too. And it's coming at the expense of running.
In some cases, they take out the fifth. Sometimes they take out the fifth-year option too, like with Josh Jacobs. I mean, they're actually paying him less than they would in the fifth-year option, and that's the same thing with Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson, maybe Travis Etienne and Najee Harris. If they don't perform like gods, and they're not worth that, say, $12, $13 million, depending on where they are, and that sort of situation, they're just gonna cut it down, save a few $1 million, and then put them on the tag.
See how it plays out, though.
You also saw teams who took a risk get burned badly, right? And so, like, you look at the Ezekiel Elliott's of the world, the Todd Gurley's of the world, and, like, even Christian McCaffrey. I mean, that guy is hurt a lot, right? And, like, I know he did well last year, and even, like, the 49ers, they got great trade value for him. But at the end of the day, like, there's only, I mean, Aaron Jones taking a pay cut to stay with the Packers. Joe Mixon, I know he took a little bit of a pay cut, but, like, he got a little bit more, like, length added to his contract. You know, like, the market's just not there right now.
What would you say right now to running backs in high school? You come in for a speech, you're talking to the running backs. What advice are you giving them?
Don't.
I would say diversify your portfolio or convert.
Everybody wants to be the running back, though. Like, when you're growing up, the running back gets the ball. So when you're a kid and pee-wee all the way up to high school, you want to be the running back.
How do you guys consider Kadarius Toney?
Wide receiver.
Yeah, wide receiver. It's like Deebo Samuel.
Cancer?
What? Okay, and on that note, speaking of things that suck, Vikings rookie wide receiver Jordan Addison cited for speeding, reckless driving. He was going 140 in a 55. I've gone 110. That's the fastest I've
You went 110? What, in a NASCAR?
Not in NASCAR.
What did you do in a NASCAR?
I thought I looked up. I was like, oh my gosh, I was going too fast. But I was on the highway, the interstate. I was not in a 50-mile-per-hour zone.
Like, you got to give some credit to the Raiders. Like, the Raiders have programs where it's like, hey, call us if you're drinking, call us if it's late and whatever, and like we'll rate. Yeah. And in the age of like Uber and Lyft and all that stuff, there's just not an excuse for it anymore. So
I think it's for the thrill and the feeling that you're invincible. I mean, you're the cock of the walk in college. You've been drafted first round. You've got a lot of money. And unfortunately, if you're not smart with it, you're going to blow it in the matter of, months?
I'm going to be honest, like, I'm not saying either's right. But, like, if you're getting 6 games for gambling or a season for gambling and, like, this ain't doing anything, I mean, like, there needs to be... Because, again, right, it's the trouble he's going to face, like, with law enforcement, which is probably going to wind up being, like, a fine and it's going to be a joke. And then there's the NFL. Like, how much stepping in does the NFL want to do?
DeAndre Hopkins finally signs
with the Titans.
Titans. Something or nothing. Will this move the needle for the Titans?
I just said it's confusing. Like, it's just odd because the Titans are in the best conference, not the best division. They're in a winnable division. You know, the Jaguars are going to be, like, I think their biggest competition. But it just seems odd. Derrick Henry, last year of his contract. Ryan Tannehill, last year of his contract. You don't know who your quarterback is going to be this year and or next year.
You and me, Scooter, bitter because of that.
you have to remember the Jags were probably playing 20-dimensional chess because they threw all that money at Christian Kirk, which caused A.J. Brown to get upset and demand a trade because they wouldn't agree to terms.
A lot of them were saying 7-9 type season, maybe 8 wins for the season. After the signing, these guys are one step below Cowboys fans in their delusion because this is the best thing that has ever happened to the franchise. They've been burned in the past by signing some aging receivers. They signed a Randy Moss. They signed Andre
Julio
Johnson.
Julio
Oh
Jones.
yeah, that was bad.
Julio Jones, who wasn't really that bad for them. They made the playoffs. They had a
Well, when Hopkins was in his prime as a Cardinal and also as a Texan a little bit, they had 2 very athletic quarterbacks that could flush out of the pocket and find him open, especially Murray. You know, you would see these tweets that says, F it, DeAndre down there somewhere, you know? And it's not that way anymore. Like, DeAndre has to be a solid route runner. He's got to be, like Tom said, he doesn't have that speed or that creativity or separation that he used to. It's from Packer 79, so I'm guessing.
I don't think I got it.
It might be Scooter. It's Scooter.
Yes, let's go!
Let's go. Scooter's going to get punished. Scooter's going to get punished. So, yeah, to me, Bill Belichick is never on the hot seat. He is whatever the temperature of his butt is the temperature of his seat.
Dang. I already had the punishment picked for this week.
Oh,
too.
somebody had it? It's like, they may look terrible. Like,
It does look like Kentucky.
Yeah. But when they get out there, when they're playing, like the players, when they put them on and they start moving, like they look kind of fresh. I won this. Yes.
Scooter, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose, Scooter.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
that
baby.
rap.
Let's
You're
go.
gonna lose.
20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 4. I'm so sorry, Scooter. You might lose. But I don't want to get too cocky because then someone might donate. So I'm just going to say I hope that's the case. Also, anyone going to see Barbie this weekend or Oppenheimer?
Well,
Yeah,
I
maybe you
mean,
should get a date.
yeah. Here's the problem, though. I still have to get my things for it, and it's terrible. I hate it. I'm at $128.10. So I did not
made
win.
$13.99, enough to buy a Big Mac.
Tom,
Fast-
what are you at, Tom?
Buddy, I'm below Tree with 140. Oh, right around 141.19, and I know you got a $150 donation. So baby, you rock, baby. That's good.
We're at 164.99.
Let's go.
That's $20. Let's go.
Let's go.
Can I donate?
What?
Tom?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
No. It's
Done.
All right.
We already read.
I would
You're done.
like to choose my own punishment.
No.
If you
Okay,
would allow
well,
that.
Unless it's
pitch
good.
it. Pitch it.
Okay.
What is
Here's
your
the punishment. I was gonna make whoever won today do this. I was gonna convince 3 of the people to side with me for this punishment. So
Okay.
the punishment is as follows. I have to do a 1-hour live stream on TikTok as an NPC Dallas Cowboys fan.
Okay.
Have you guys
What
been
do you
seeing
mean?
this?
You're talking about
it's-
how
it's
people
weird.
just give you a bunch of money. You
No,
want
no,
to
no, no,
stream
no,
so
no.
you get a
I'm
bunch of
talking
money.
about how so it'll be me for an hour, okay? Have you seen the NPC streams?
No,
Yes.
I've seen,
no.
I've seen
not.
bits of them.
People
and it's-
being like,
it's stupid.
Yeah, so it's like- Ice cream.
It's apparently a
so good.
fetish. It's apparently a
Yum.
fetish.
Yum. I was literally gonna make one of you guys do